Chief Minister of Assam, Sarbanand Sonowal, His Excellency Kumfok, the Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN, Distinguished Secretary, External Affairs, Vijay Thakur Singh, General Katoj, Their Excellencies, and my dear young friends. I'm extremely happy to be here. I was in Halong 2 weeks back at the ASEAN-India Tourism Minister Summit, where we declared the ASEAN-India Collaborative Year 2019, we declared. And it was my privilege, proud privilege to announce that as co-chair of the meeting there. I'm so young to see so many young people here. I think the world belongs to young people. I think it's time we discard age-old philosophies, thought, and then to believe that we all need to work together, not build walls, which is so easy to do, which some people are trying to do. And I think we just need to light a lamp which will spread the light across the world. And there is so much common between the ASEAN countries and India. I think this was the last ASEAN Ministers India Summit. The tourism minister of Malaysia said the shared legacy of ASEAN and India is that basically it's the Indian civilization, the Hindu civilization which we share. We have so much in common. The Buddhist philosophy, the Hindu philosophy, it's so deeply embedded in the entire ASEAN region where we work together. And this area, if you look at it today, over the past 15, 20 years, has done an amazing amount of work. I mean, take a country like Vietnam, because I was there just 2 weeks back. They threw out the colonial powers. They threw out the biggest empire in the history of the world, the most powerful people in the world, the United States, with so much of pride, which is a great inspiration for every one of us, for the whole world. And they have built up a wonderful country which is growing so phenomenally fast. And as far as tourism is concerned, they made such quadruple jumps in the past 10 years from nowhere. I think today they have something like 15 million inbound tourists come in Vietnam. I think all this is such phenomenal things which some of the countries are doing. I think every member of the ASEAN group is doing such amazing job. So we in India, we are the largest, the fastest growing large economy in the world. By 2022, we intend to be a 5 trillion economy. And then in another 8 years, we intend to be a 10 trillion economy. It's the core place where a lot of things are happening. We have people deeply involved in research and technology, working all over the world, not only in India. If you look at the global laboratories, very large number of young Indian scientists are working. And we all work together to create a beautiful world. And what better mechanism can there be to create a better world? And what's a better world? Where we are all happy. I think that is so fundamental. The question, why are we on the face of the earth? I think there are only two answers to that. One, to be happy, and to make others happy. I think these are fundamental. And so we all work together. What is the core of, let's say, the ASEAN philosophy, which I think comprises the core of the Indian philosophy, and we call it yoga? What is that? It's simple. It's a philosophy which believes that you and I, we are one. The rest of humanity, we are all one. And we go beyond that and say the entire planet is one. This is what we say. This is the core of the yoga philosophy. So yoga is not an exercise. It's not a physical exercise. It's not even a mental exercise. It's a way of life in which you believe that the entire universe is part of me. And then what happens? It doesn't end with your exercises. It's a belief that happiness is indivisible. I can't decide that I will be happy, my family will be happy, me, my parents, my children, we will be happy. Sorry. This is fundamental to yoga, Indian philosophy, that if I want to be happy, the other has to be happy because the other is part of me. And our happiness has to be sustainable. And therefore, we got to take the entire universe along, just not human beings. The flora and the fauna and the entire planet. We can't hurt the planet. We need to take it along. When we find happiness, it's an easy way to find, okay, we will do everything that's possible to make human beings happy. But can that happiness be sustainable? No. We got to protect the universe, preserve the universe. I think this is yoga philosophy. This is Indian philosophy. And I think this is a common philosophical legacy of ASEAN countries. So this is what connects us. The theme of our summit is actually connectivity. So I'm not talking about physical connectivity because that is going to be dealt with in some other sessions. Let's talk about the spiritual, the mental connectivity. So let's all work together. While we find prosperity, today we find huge growth, prosperity. Many of your countries have abolished poverty at phenomenal pace, at a speed which the world has never seen. But I really think we just need to move closer, all our young people, because you have a stake in the world. I think we just need to redefine and say, this world belongs to the young people. It's our future which matters. But I'm a very positive person, but I also tend to be practical once in a while. I think the way we are going, the way we throw out waste into the space, destroy our beautiful air which we breathe. I do not think the human being is going to survive on the face of the earth beyond 100 years. I seriously doubt. So forget about your grandchildren. They're not going to be born. They're not going to live. This world will come to an end the way we are destroying it. Look at the emissions. Look at the kind of destruction which man thrusts upon the whole universe. Man is the cruelest creature on the face of the earth. Cruelest. This has to end. And who can do it? Young people say, we have a right on this universe and we need to take it forward. So ladies and gentlemen, it's an incredible world which is so closely linked today with the net. Everything is available. I found this board the other day when I was in Manhattan. Outside the church, there was a board which said, this church still exists because there are still some things which Google doesn't know. Google seems to know everything. But again, I got another forward which said the other day, the only thing to discover is yourself. Everything else, Google will tell you. I mean, Google is a common factor again. Ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, it's a personal discovery. What are we? Why are we here for? I keep going to schools and colleges and talking to lots of people, and I keep asking them, how many of you have asked this very fundamental question, why am I born? Why am I created? And to my utter surprise, I find a kid who is a state topper, who is a national topper. The other day I asked one of those kids, now you are the national topper in your examination. Tell me a very simple question. What are you going to do in your life? You know what the kid told me, 18-year-old? I will go home, I'll ask my mother, and then I will tell you. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I think youth has to be about dreams. And here is the greatest dreamer here. I think the greatest badminton coach in the world is here. Can you just stand up? He's going to speak to you later. Mr. Gobichand, okay? Who produces Olympic champions in the last Olympics. Two of his people whom he coaches got medals at the Olympics. He's the greatest badminton coach in the world. When I walked in, I shook hands with him. I thought he must be some college student, some volunteer here. Then somebody said, oh, this is Govichand. I said, my God, he looks like a college kid. How does he do that? Yeah, it's amazing. So he's the greatest dreamer who has put dreams into people. My dear young people, let's have dreams. I come from a village, non-electrified village. I studied in a Malayalam medium school, and I was one of the dumbest kids in the history of the school ever. You know how much I got in my board examination, school board examination. Govichandni would be shocked. You would never take me into your academy anyway. I got 42%. And then I became one of the toppers in the civil service. I think most of you may not know about the Indian civil service. About 1.3 million people write the civil service examination. And you know how many people get selected? 100 people get selected. Of course, our Secretary External Affairs is one of the people. I happen to be one of the people who got selected. I got selected into that. Then I resigned, I became a politician, member of the State Senate. Then, of course, I became a union minister. This world has to be led by dreams, my dear young people. Not the dreams of your parents, not necessarily the dreams of your political leaders. Go, dream for yourself. Conquer the world and say, it's not the Prime Minister, it's not the United Nations, it's not my Chief Minister or anybody who has to make the difference. Honorable Chief Minister is a very, very smart young Chief Minister who is making dramatic changes to the state of Assam is here, which is achieving incredible growth today. But ultimately, each of us have to tell ourselves, because you are young, and say, I am going to make the difference. I think that has to be the spirit of the ASEANs. When we get out of this place, each of us resolve and say, yes, I'm going back to my country. And we share a spirit in which we all decide that each one of us will leave the world a better place. So have a wonderful time. And as Minister for Tourism, I'm extremely happy to be here. Let me also tell you a couple of things about tourism. The latest World Travel and Tourism Council's report, India is at rank number 3. I know most of you are getting more inbound than us, but we are at rank number 3. On 4 factors, the ranking was based on 4 indicators. Number 1, the contribution of tourism to the GDP. Number 2, foreign spend in India, domestic spend in India, and the investment in the tourism sector. Most of you would be shocked if I tell you how much revenue we generated from tourism last year. It's a mind-boggling $234 billion. That is what we generated from tourism last year. Out of which 87% was from domestic tourists, 87%. So I just got 13% from foreign tourist arrivals spent in India, which of course we got about $27 billion from the foreign tourists visiting India against a global growth rate of 7%. We've grown at 14%. I know some of you have been smarter than us. Many of your countries have grown much more than that, but the global growth rate was 7%. We grew at 14% last year. Against a global revenue growth of 5% from foreign tourists, my revenues went up by 19.2%. So we've grown at 4 times the global average. I know many of you are doing better than we are doing. So, and you know how many people I employ in the tourism sector? It's an incredible 82 million people I employ in the tourism sector. I think that's more than any country in the world, because I generate 87% of my tourism is domestic tourism. Indians are traveling. And of course, out of these 87% of domestic tourism, about 60 to 70% is actually spiritual tourism, people visiting religious places. Fine for me, as long as they travel, as long as they occupy a room, as long as they hire a taxi, as long as they go shopping, they go to a restaurant, for me it's fine. I don't care where the money comes from. I think this is the biggest bonding we can ever have, travel, which binds the country together, which binds the world together. But am I happy with whatever we are doing? No. I want a lot more people from your countries to come to us. Because a visit to India, it's just not a visit, oh, I went to India. Sorry. It's not even experiential, oh, I went and experienced India. No. Our punchline is very simple. Anybody who comes to India, when he leaves, he should be able to look inside and say, yes, I am a different person today than when I came in. This is the objective of Indian tourism, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm extremely happy. Enjoy yourself, do all the brainstorming, see how we can demolish the walls being built up by insane people, how we can bring sanity into politics and into education. Today, the world is getting crushed under the pressure of xenophobic ideas. People believing, yes, me, my country, and there's nothing beyond that. I think you people, only you can do it. Break down those walls. And let's begin with the ASEAN countries. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the organizers, and thank you very much for inviting me here. After this conclave, my appeal to is, just don't go back from Guwahati, see the entire Northeast. The Northeastern states are incredibly beautiful. I was in Sikkim the other day. You know, the Gangtok city is better than any European city. It's amazing, it's fantastic. So, it's an amazing treasure of topographical beauty, incredible talent, people with wonderful music. When three people from the northeastern states, three of them get together, there is a choir. Where else in the world will it happen? Fantastic dance and music. So ladies and gentlemen, take a few days more out and go and see. We have this wonderful Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary, which is, where you have plenty of one-horned rhinos. In fact, we brought out a promotional on that recently. It's a Frenchman closing his library and coming to India to Kaziranga. And then when he goes back, leaves, he says, sorry, if the government could succeed in protecting the rhino, which was only 400 in numbers, and today because of the government effort, we have 1,400 rhinos. Sorry, I'm not going to close down my bookstore. I'm reopening it. So I think what we do in this country, some of these experiments which have hugely succeeded, and congratulations, Chief Minister, your state has done it. I think all these are great examples for us to get together. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful time here.